to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Present.
Mr. Javits.
Here.
Mr. White.
Here.
Mr. Monahan.
Here.
Mr. President.
Here. They're making fun of my winter hat. This is my hat, but I can't wear it inside. Great. Okay, public input. We have two people to speak. First we have Christopher DeGennaro. Where's Chris?
Hello, good evening. My name is Chris DeGennaro, and I was just doing an Eagle Scout project on the cemetery.
The cemetery on the Camp Road.
Yeah.
That's all Plain Avenue, right?
Yes. Many months ago, around May-ish, I also came here and spoke about it. But here's where I am now with the project. Well, we finished the manual labor. So thanks to Mr. Brisling here, we got fill for the slope, the right-of-way. We cleaned the brush and debris from the site and the right-of-way itself. We placed stones to the heads of the unmarked graves found using dowsing. We originally anticipated 40 graves, but we have actually found 305 graves. Since we're finished with the manual labor, after this, tonight, we will get the sign, which will state the name and the War of 1812 veteran Henry Rose. The name of the new cemetery, well, we have many names, but our favorite so far is the Old Morgantown Road Cemetery. After this, we will also submit it to the National and State Historic Places. And then afterward, we need an Eagle Board review. You will support for support of the sign, if there is any funding, it would be appreciated. And we should strive to have a rededication on Memorial Day, as it is a patriarch of the war. The patriarch of the cemetery is a veteran of the War of 1812.
Can I just add a little bit, because he skimmed over all of the hard work that Mr. Gavinez, Mr. Brissing, the tree people, his parents, all of the scouts. There was more leaves and debris and stuff to be carted and bagged and blown and raked. And then we got treated to Mr. Brooks of the Sons of the American Revolution, the president, and I'm going to say his name wrong, Mr. Brissing. Mr. Gutitz came and doused the cemetery, which is a very old art, and they literally used 2 steel rods, and it's a gift. So they doused the cemetery, and then behind them, 2 residents of Stony Point, Carl Jones and Bradley Conklin, confirmed. So what we thought was 40 graves turned into 304. Added to that, Henry Rose is a veteran of the War of 1812. But his work, Mr. Brissing, is absolutely just gorgeous. And if we can rededicate it on Memorial Day next year, we're putting in our, can we please? How's that?
It works.
And the last thing we need is a sign. So we'll either, okay, good. Mr. Brissing.
Right now.
No.
Thank you, Chris.
Good job.
Good job.
But it's done, Jeff.
Again, I just want to bring up, of course, we want to thank him for coming back. And we have a few other scout projects that were being done throughout the town, throughout the summer and the spring, and early in the year, with the holidays and everything here, but probably January or February, late January or February meeting, we're going to try and get all of the scouts in and give them a little award for the great job and caring about the community and giving back. So again, we thank you so much. Great job.
Mary, that sign should probably, be match what we were discussing at the meeting last month in terms of the design of it and then the work with them on the content.
Okay, Susan?
Susan Fulgaris, 87 Mont Farm Road. Christopher, once again, thank you. It was a pleasure. And I'm sure your mom is going to say I don't have to make another phone call, but it was a lot of fun. A couple of things. I sent out to both towns a meeting that I attended at Pace University on the 4th of December. And it was a meeting called the New York State Power Puzzle, Pathways to a Low Carbon Future. The interesting part about it is that we got to meet as the keynote speaker, Richard Kaufman, who is known as New York State's energy czar, comes from the federal government. He is recrafting utilities in New York State. And that's something I think the town board needs to figure out how you're going to keep abreast of, especially with the Lovett site where it's at. What we saw is Mr. Kaufman believes in computers. He wants to smart meter everything. That's until it gets to Tompkins Cove and he discovers we have intermittent electric, but that's besides the point. The interesting part of it is we had Rick Jennings, Assistant Deputy Minister to Ontario. Stephen C. Moloditz, President Business Development of Hydro-Quebec, US. Peter Shattuck, the Arcadia Center, which is a marketing firm. And Con Ed, where'd he go? He had an interesting job name. Serge, I can't pronounce these names, Mahanovic, Director in the Utility of the Future Team at Con Ed. And the last, which is who I'm hoping to get an appointment with, Lemel Shlover, Environmental Protection Bureau Chief, New York State Attorney General's Office. The Lemel proceeded to say that he hopes that all utilities will have transparency. The Hydro-Quebec guy went on to tell us about how well he could bury transmission lines. The Ontario gentleman proceeded to tell us how well they could produce it. And I'm sitting there saying, well, what's in it for me? Where's our jobs? Where our sustainability? How do we grow? How well is foreign produced oil working out for us? Are we going to tie our economy to another world power? So I listened to them, and I stood up very nicely first and said, we are being victimized by the Champlain-Hudson Power Express. From the route, eminent domain, no jobs, no savings. The savings, and they understood this remark very quickly, is a production savings. The savings is the comparison between if we built the power plant or you build this transmission line. It is not end user or the people who turn the light on and off. They shut me up real quick. We're not discussing it at that level. It's a project where this is global. And I'm sitting there going, well, 300 jobs, devaluation, my taxes have doubled. What is it you don't want to hear about? So at the end of the meeting,
They carried you out.
no, I'm a little braver than that, Tom. At the end of the meeting, I sought out the New York State Attorney General's office, and this is what I said to him. I didn't mean to jump up and speak like that, but I actually did. But what I want you to know is we have 2 power plants, one in each town. And when deregulation came along, and they were bought, the person who purchased them immediately bankrupted them, claimed a tax certiorari, and we owe $96 million to the power plant. Because they're telling us that what they bought is not worth what they paid. Is that the consequence you intended for deregulation? He was interested, he wanted to talk more about it. So we're trying to get in, because I don't know if he can touch that one, but we want to. The other thing I announced to that group is that the presidential permit is based on incorrect information, and that the trajectory is incorrect, and that the U.S. Coast Guard did not submit the navigation risk assessment. So that's what I have to say. We have a power plant, we have a possible 46-inch line, we've got 3 high-pressure lines that move through this town. They pay a very large part of our taxes. If we don't understand the percentage of our budget that that infrastructure is, including the cell towers and the towers, the electric towers, and where the utility industry is going, we're going to get hurt. Because if they decide to take those high-tension lines down and bury those lines, how many more houses, backyards, and under our pools can we sustain in this neighborhood? And I really think we need to look hard at it. And thank you.
Thank you, Susan. We have 2 editors. Laura Konigsberg.
I recently started following the information about the gasification waste-to-energy plant.
I'm sorry, just for the record, you state your name and address.
Sure.
Just for the record, add that.
It's Laura Konigsberg, and I'm a Stony Point resident. 22 Montague Road, Stony Point. Upon discovering this information from the Journal News, I did a little bit more research. I went online. I tried to find out as much as I could about gasification plants, and I couldn't find much. I'm a numbers person and a person rooted in solid science, and I just want to make sure that we see the results and the success of other plants first before entering into a project that we really don't know about. I'd request full transparency, and the reason why I'm saying that is because when I started looking on your website, I started looking on December 2nd, and I couldn't find anything on the main page about this gasification plant, on the main page. I was told by someone in your office that it's somewhere on the site, and then on the 5th, which was I think Friday, I saw it posted front and center, kind of on the bottom, on the right side, which was very transparent. When I clicked it in and I read through the proposal, I noticed that the letter was dated November 5th, and it requested, and I'm not going to go into the lingo, but basically it said you have 30 days if anyone wants to take the lead on this project. I thought that that was pretty shortchanging the community if there were going to be any other people who were interested in this, because it gave 4 hours to reach out to anyone from a full transparency perspective. We're in an age of technology. I want to see it front and center, and I want to know right away when things are taking place in my community, less than a mile away from me. I would encourage any potential debate or concerns to be open, to be well received if there's an invitation from the town patio or anyone else that has a voice of dissent, so we can hear all sides to this. I just want a decision based on sound analysis, and if we can find that and see that, then I'd like to see other examples of this gasification plant. Not potential, I don't want to be the guinea pig here, I don't know what this means for our environment, for the soil, for the smell, for the school that's next to it, the residents that are going to possibly see this 24/7. I don't have any answers to that, so I just request full transparency so we can see all sides. And also, at the January 8th meeting, if there could be any representatives from any communities that are in any current gasification plants, like if there are any in the United States that we can validate, and in the scope of this project, which is a lot bigger than I think the one that was maybe mentioned in Florida or California. The scope of this project, if there are any residents in any of these other plants that can come to a meeting or represent in some way, shape, or form, how has this impacted your community there? What do you have to say about it since you're the ones living there? That would be helpful to know too. Do they notice the smell? Do they have any sort of environmental impact? Let's know about this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you mentioned the January 8th meeting, because that is where you're going to learn all the information on it. This is new to us as well. We're certainly not going to put something here that we think is bad for our community, or especially for the safety and well-being of anyone living in that area. That being said, we will be very transparent on this. As far as the website, it is on there, but that's the 30 days that you mentioned. That's for the interested party. We sent out over, I believe, 48 or 49 booklets like this out to all the agencies that could have come back and said, yes, we want to be that lead agency. It's not a resident or something like that. It's interested agencies such as the Joint Regional, Town of Harrisville, the Village, all that kind of stuff. So that was sent out way prior to the what was on the website. But I just want to make sure that you realize, and everyone, that all of these questions will be answered. I can't assure you that someone's going to come from another neighborhood, you know, in California or wherever, Florida. But I can assure you that this company that's going to come in and give this information out, I can almost assure you that they'll have letters from maybe mayors or supervisors or people that live in that area where it is. At least it's something we're going to ask them to do. So we will do it. And as I said, if this comes down to not working, it's not working, it's not going to happen. And I just ask that everyone, please just give this project a chance before it gets off the ground. And you know, there's a lot of rumors out there and nonsense out there that this is a horrible thing that's putting all this emissions into the air. Let's learn about it first at this January 8th meeting, and then we can make our judgment on it. Because I'm just asking people, please don't listen to everything you hear. Okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Joel Wurtzer. Did I say that right? Close enough. All right.
Joel Wallitzer, 22 Montague Road, Stony Point as well. Just want to echo some of Laura's comments, just that I think we're a little devastated that this project would even being thought to be put next to a school.
Well, you don't have the information yet, so
Well, I looked at the packages to where the proposed site would be, and it's within a mile of the school. So if that's where it's going to be, it seems like that would be a pretty poor choice. The letters, some of the letters from the mayors, Haverstraw talk about traffic disruptions and things like that. I really don't think that's an issue. I think traffic, you get traffic anywhere you go to New York City, you get traffic. I think it's more about the environmental impact. As you mentioned, I think it's all going to be assessed. I did notice in one of the packages, I'm not sure where I found it, but that there are about 50 or 60 or so residents in the local area. It's all within this proposed site where it's going to be. I would just ask that the town of Stony Point or someone notify these people in writing. I'm not so sure if they've been notified yet, because like me, I only heard about this about a week or 2 weeks ago, so I'm not so sure many people know about what's going on. So I would ask that they're notified in writing and have their chances to speak.
Sure, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's it on public input. Okay. Okay, purchase order request. I believe they're up here on the table. Okay, fine.
Yeah, but two of them are on the chief's report, so, yeah, two of them are significant. So I don't know, if,
You want to do it on your?
can we do his report and then come back to this?
Yeah, that's fine, we can do that. No problem. If you have any questions, I can answer your questions now, I think. You want me to answer them? Or you want to wait?
I just
Okay,
know
that's
it's
fine,
not-
we'll wait till the report. We'll wait till the report. Okay, order the bills. They're here as well.
Good motion.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second for the order of bills. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And we have the minutes from the October 28th meeting, the November 12th meeting, and the November 25th meeting of 2014. Sorry.
Make the motion, accept the minutes as submitted.
I'll second
Okay, and there's a motion and a second to accept the 3 meeting minutes. All in favor? Aye.
I have
Opposed?
to abstain
I'm
on the
sorry.
25th.
drizzle last Monday. We had a great crowd for the weather, and a great job by our Parks Department, our Recreation Department, and all volunteers who helped out that night to make it a success. We had the fourth grade, I believe it was fourth grade. Third grade. Third and fourth, maybe not. No, just Mr. and Mrs. Claus were there, yes. And everyone did a great job, and it was just a really nice thing to see out there. That was our chorus who did the singing. Our holiday boutique, which was Friday, was a great success. We had that in our Kirkbride Hall here, where we were selling all sorts of, not only gifts for the holiday season, but all types of gifts, Tupperware and all that kind of stuff. So a great job by our vendors, and our Recreation Department, our Parks Department helped out as well. And unfortunately, Breakfast with Santa on the 14th, which is this week, is sold out. That does go fast. That's at Patriot Hills, and that's always a great event. And we also have a drop-in shop on the 18th, so people can go out and do a little shopping before the holidays from 5 o'clock to 8:30, and they'll be serving pizza, drinks, and snacks at no charge. And you can call the Recreation Department for information on that. And just driving by up here today, I noticed the new paintings on our wall, at our windows at the Kirkbride Hall, and that is, they were painting nice decorations on there from Caitlin Berlanga, Michelle Dorico, and Lauren O'Shea. They painted the doors, and they did a great job, so we want to thank them as well. And I believe they'll be doing this, they'll be doing it here on Sunday, correct, Karen Ann?
Yeah.
They'll be doing the doors here, coming into this building. And also, when the kids are off school, we have open gym, as well as a trip to the movies, and a trip to the golf club, glow in the dark golf in Nanuet. And you can call the Recreation Department for information on that. The seniors, we have great news for the seniors up here, who I had the privilege of visiting on Monday and Tuesday to go over some of our restroom that's being done down here. You can see it's closed off that side of the building. We're having a lot of work done down there. Hopefully within a month it'll be all complete, or maybe a little more than a month, but we're hoping. But anyway, that being said, it looks like the seniors may have one of our local businesses coming up. It looks like Halligan's to offer a $5 person meal for lunch up here. So that'll be nice. One of our local businesses coming up. It looks like they were talking about it, so hopefully we can get that done. Also, I want to thank the PBA and the youth, I know you were going to talk about this, youth officer Krieger and his crew did a great job for the seniors on Sunday up at Patriot Hills. They had a beautiful breakfast and a great crowd. All the volunteers that came up, I know the chief will mention it, just a great job to see people giving back to the community. And of course, January 8th, I want to remind everyone, we will be having our gasification meeting. And I also want to just congratulate Rockland County for, it was a little ugly there with the budget at first, but they all got together, they worked together, and that's how it worked. When people get together and work together and put their minds to something, whether it be the legislators, the county executive, or anyone else over there, we're very happy that that budget has passed, and it's not kicking too much money back to us. Okay, that being said, we'll move on. Police Department report, Chief Moore.
Good evening, Supervisor, members of the board. You should have before you the monthly report for the month of November. Calls for service, 663. Number of reported accidents, 29. Number of arrests were 42. Fuel usage, 1,335 gallons. Some of all traffic enforcement actions were 171. Number of youth officer sponsored events, we had 6. We had 3 the North Rockland Youth Police Academy Day classes. Also had a graduation. We had 1 recreation night, Kirkbride, PAL meeting. We conducted a youth court. In addition to that, we also, as you spoke about, had the senior brunch. This year we celebrated our 25th anniversary. We started over on the church on East Main Street, downstairs. 25 years ago, Bob Matasier, then the youth officer, detective sergeant, started that. We moved over to the firehouse and then moved our way up the road and then to the top of the hill. So 25 years, it's been a great event. We had about 250 seniors, very well attended, and we actually brought back Bob Matasier, Kevin O'Connor, and some of the other people that had served on the community all these years, helping out and recognized them. So it was really a nice event. We ran one commercial vehicle enforcement detail, did only one child safety seat install this month. We ran 5 DWI patrols, 40 hours of training, collected $82.25. That's the report for the month of November.
Thank you, Chief.
You should have my time record before you for the month.
I'll make a motion to accept the police report and the time records.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Chief, this is signed.
Thank you. Okay, you have the department overtime report and sick leave reports also.
Make a motion to accept.
Second motion.
There's been a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the next item on your agenda will be a repair. The transmission will go on police vehicle 606, 2009 Ford Crown Victoria. The county, we went to county bid for that, and the 4-star transmission has that, and you'll see that in the amount of $1,795. Request emergency repair on that item. Got the purchase order before.
And that just happened over the past few days, there was an emergency on the transmission, I believe, right?
Yes, on the, I think it was Friday, Thursday or Friday of last week.
That's one of the items.
One of the mark patrol cars.
Okay. Do you want
Go on, should I go on
We can do them
through all
separately.
3 of them, or do you want to do them separately?
We'll do them all separately. I'll make a motion to accept the purchase order for 4-star transmission for $1,795 for an emergency repair of a police vehicle.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, Chief.
Thank you. The next one you'll see is for a purchase of a 2015 Ford Utility Interceptor. What we did on this thing is, we go out and look for quotes, state quote. We have state bid that we start with. Oftentimes there is a county bid out there somewhere in one of the counties, the 62 counties in the state of New York, and sometimes that bid will beat it. So we were looking at one of the ones from upstate New York, and we were going with that first, and then we took it a little bit further and we checked with Schultz Ford here in West Haverstraw and Nanuet, and asked them to take a look to see if they wanted to bid against on that one. And they actually came in and they beat the state bid, county bid. You'll see that in the amount of $26,500. We're looking to pay for that. We get a grant through DCGS, the grant number is listed there, and utilize funds in the restricted account, sale equipment restricted to pay the balance.
Okay, so that, again, that is for $26,500, $20,000 out of grant money, and the $6,500 out of the restricted fund.
Yes, sir.
So, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And the last one, Chief.
The last one is for a 2015 Chevrolet Tahoe. This is a vehicle that we have in the 2015 budget. We did the same due diligence as it related to that. We went out and looked at the bids, tried to see if somebody had a cheaper bid and a county bid, and we didn't have any luck. Van Borel Chevrolet has the bid. We purchased from Van Borel before, a responsible company. Our issue is with these vehicles, and I spoke with the supervisor again this morning, and our director of finances. The car companies have build-out dates. So I'm requesting to place an order because we're looking at 16 to 20 weeks, according to the dealership, from factory to dealership. That's their lag time, but their build-out date is, on one of these vehicles, is January 30th. So you have to place your order before then in order to get this model, otherwise you wait until 2016 and the state of New York to catch up sometime, probably 9 months into the year, to give you the next, award the next bid. So this is a request to place the order. Obviously, we're talking 16 to 20 weeks until delivery for our 2015 vehicle.
So this is budgeted for
Correct.
15, right? And you have to order it from the factory because it has a special police package in it, or?
Correct, you have to order with the police package with the options that you're requesting on that vehicle.
And again, this is something that I discussed with the chief and our finance director today, actually for quite some time, that we will be coming up with our ban. This is when we say it's budget money, this is part of the money that we were banning in 15. And we will be coming up probably the first meeting or probably either the first or second meeting in January with that list that the board will have to approve. We do want to get this car ordered right away. Like you said, it could take 4 or 5 months to get. So it won't be paid for until it comes in, and it will be paid for through the ban money.
That's correct,
So
Mr.
the
Board.
board knows. Ban money is bonded money, money we bond. I'm sorry, but I'll answer. Bond money, it's 5 years. We go out and ban. We ban all our equipment all the time. Okay, I'll make a formal motion to award the bid to Van Wardle Chevrolet, which is a New York State contract bid of 22737 for a total of $32,725.59.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Discussion?
Yeah, just get, I was getting confused on, what are we doing? Are we banning this?
Yeah. All the equipment for 15.
This is the only vehicle on the ban for the police department.
This is the only budgeted vehicle on the police department, other than the vehicle that's being paid for through the grant, which isn't budgeted, but it's grant.
Correct, it's grant money, that's correct, sir.
For 15.
I just remember banning it when we had a conversation about the budget, there was a whole debate about the budget, of banning bonding, from the standpoint of worried about credit risk. I was just kind of surprised we're just banning for $32,000.
Since I've been on the board for 9 years, we ban every police car, every vehicle, and everything else that we've ordered or bought.
We're going to put together a list of all the equipment that was on the equipment schedule from the
Right.
adopted budget, and in the January meeting, we will list and resolutions that we're going to issue then.
That number's in the budget for this year?
Well,
The
it's
total
not,
number?
it's not in the budget because it's $0
Well, when you-
the first year for
yes.
15.
When you ban money, it's not till the next year. So if you ban X amount of dollars this year,
2000.
that won't go on to the 2016. However, other things that are coming off from the 14 and 15 year, basically get off. Yes.
I don't know, did you answer your question? From standpoint of, she said it wasn't budgeted.
It's-
It
It
was budgeted. It was in the equipment line budget.
Budget schedule.
This last year comes off and this one goes on, so it's.
Hold on, let me just make a point. This is budgeted, it's budgeted equipment in the 2015 budget that we voted on, that was voted on at the last meeting or whatever, 2 months ago. That, there's a list of equipment, and this is one of the listed pieces of equipment on that budget line.
That's correct.
Hey, I was just questioning the ban and bond
Okay.
on it, because we had a big discussion about that during the budget meetings.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, so that is the 3 other items that were in the purchase order. So can I get a motion to accept the purchase orders?
The remaining.
Thank you.
The remaining ones, of course.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Joan, I just went backwards there. You understand? Okay. Golf course report. I see Mr. Fusco is here. I don't think too many people are golfing out there today. No.
Members of, members of the board, this is the golf course report for Patriot Hills Golf Club for the month of November 2014. Green fees collected, $63,018.16. Merchandise sold, $3,030.17. Driving race fees collected, $2,195. Club rental, $161.45. Total revenue, $68,405.33. I do have a few things that I just want to bring to your attention, but before I do that, I don't know if anyone has any questions pertaining to the golf course.
How was that for November?
Not good. It was, that'll kind of lead me into my discussion, Tom. Weather obviously plays a big part in our season. We opened this year the latest ever, April 4th, and Not that we're officially closed, but basically we've closed the earliest we've ever closed. And, you know, generally the beginning and the end of your seasons really can define your year. The middle basically is pretty solid, year after year after year. Just a couple statistics here. We've only had 3 decent days of business since Monday, November 17th, which is very, very abnormal for this time of year. Normally you do catch days. You've seen the weather, we just have not caught any days late in the year. Getting to the early part of the season, when we look back, if we compare 2013 to 2014, before we opened the course this year, April 4th, compared to 2013, we were already $48,000 behind. If we look at the same comparison to 2012, we were $161,000 behind. So the weather played a very significant role in our year this year. Also, facilities in the Met area, what you do in golf, you count days open. In the whole Met area, they averaged 230 days open in 2013. 2014, it was only 205. It's a decrease of about 10%. So it definitely took a toll. We did do, I know this is probably Jim happy, we did do 30,000 rentals, which has been basically our number. We've gone over that numerous times, up to 32,000, I believe 3 times. So with that said, it's been a challenging year. It's been no different than any other business. It's people have less time, have less money, so it is a challenge. But all in all, we still have an outstanding reputation. We're still doing, you know, good numbers. But like I said, the weather did take a toll on us this year. Anything else?
Just on another point, just that it was amazing got through the year without, we really didn't spend a lot of money on maintenance up there.
It wasn't too bad this year in that regard. Hopefully with gas prices going in the direction they're going, a lot of our products are petroleum based. Obviously the cost of fuel is definitely hopefully a good factor for next year.
Well, we talked about in the past of doing some capital projects. We just never did that yet.
We haven't gotten into that yet.
And that's part of our golf courses, kind of high-end weekend rates for out-of-towners, and it's tough to get the higher rates when the course is in a certain level of condition. So commend the group for keeping the course.
Well, absolutely. Joe and his staff did a wonderful job this year keeping the golf course in the condition. And I did receive many emails from people. I would say, I know in one of our reviews we had about a 92% rate, higher than most golf courses in the area. That were very positive. So all in all, it was, considering the factors, it was a pretty decent year.
I know I had a conversation in our department head meeting this morning with Dave about redoing a few things up there, such as the sidewalks around the clubhouse, pavers and stuff like that, Belgian block. So again, that will be put on our band money in January as well. There's a few projects that were in there from the budget as well. So there will be a few nice things, going on up there in the spring, I hope.
Yes. Isn't that more cosmetic just at the clubhouse?
It is, but once again, it's presentation. It's part of the package, absolutely. It's a start in terms of the direction that we're going with, capital improvements down the road. And I will be meeting with the golf committee within the next month to review 2014 and to make any recommendations for 2015. If there's not another question, I do want to just thank a few people. This past Labor Day, we ran our Folds of Honor golf event supporting Patriot Golf Day. Patriot Golf Day is a campaign jointly supported by the PGA of America and the United States Golf Association. In the last 7 years, golfers nationwide have been instrumental in raising donations through Patriot Golf Day events, resulting in scholarships in all 50 states and 41 PGA sections. Of the 1 million plus dependents adversely affected by the deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, nearly 9 out of 10 do not qualify for federal scholarship assistance. Folds of Honor seeks to meet this need by providing annual educational scholarships to the military families of those who have been killed or disabled while in active duty. Since its founding in 2007, the organization is proud to have awarded over 7,500 scholarships, including over 2,000 this year alone. We hosted an event this Labor Day, which was sponsored by the Patriot Hills Golf Club, run by myself, my staff, and local resident Bob Marino, who I give a lot of credit to. And we raised $8,000, and it was given to the Folds of Honor Officer David Smith Foundation, and the North Rockland ROTC. So I do want to thank everyone for participating. On another note, on Columbus Day, myself and local resident Scott Fowler ran an 8-inch cup scramble tournament. This was the first of its kind in the metropolitan area that I'm aware of, and the event was extremely successful with the help of Amy Lydell and Lucy Du Bois from Dancing with the Teachers. We got together with them and we formed a little partnership, and we raised $10,000, which the Patriot Hills Players Club donated to their cause, which is Stand Up to Cancer. So, just want to let that be known. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dave, appreciate it. Great job again this year. 30,000 rounds is great. Okay, department reports, I'm sure they're all, okay. And correspondence? No correspondence. Okay, we'll get into, again, and I put this off, but I do have a few comments on this. Well, we'll open the public hearing for the sign law. Do we have to open it? Let's continue to open it, so I'll make a motion to open. Okay, thank you. At this time, if there's anyone that has any questions or not, but we've been working with special counsel. I know our building inspector and our town planner have been coming up with just finalizing a few papers that were originally on the sign law thing. So I'm going to ask to continue this. I know this has been going on for quite some time with the holidays and everything else coming up. People have been busy. Hopefully in January we get back on this and have some more information and possibly a few different locations that we can talk about. So unless the board has something to say or questions or anything, or anyone from the public, we'll continue this public hearing until the January 13th meeting. I believe that's our next meeting, 13th.
Yes.
Everybody okay with that on the board? Okay. Is there any questions, any comments from the board? No, I mean from the audience, I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll continue to keep that public hearing open. We'll get right onto our agenda. Number one is the ZBA appointment. This is something that we've been tabling for a few meetings now, and we've received, I know of at least one, possibly two resumes. And that being said, I will make a motion to appoint Michael Grawl to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Michael is a local businessman, born and raised in Stony Point, and currently the owner of Ford Geoelectric. Make that form of motion. Is there a second? Okay. No seconds. Is there anybody else?
I'd like to nominate Joe Bassi, or reappoint Joe Bassi.
Okay. There's been a motion.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to reappoint Joe Bassett to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Can I have a roll call, please?
Council, Mr. Basili?
Yes.
Mr. Gavin?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Money?
Yes.
Supervisor King?
Yes. Yes. Okay, number two, I'm going to edit it for 1B. We also have an opening for the planning board. We had someone resign last month. But it doesn't matter. So there's an opening there. So if there's a motion, I get a motion for appointment.
I'd like to nominate Mike Ferguson.
Second.
Okay, then there's a motion to nominate Mike Ferguson to the planning board, which currently Mike is the alternate. So Mike will be moved from the alternate to the board itself. Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call?
Council, Mr. Basili?
Yes.
Mr. Gavin?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Money?
Yes.
Supervisor King?
Yes.
That's effective,
That is effective, I'm sorry, January 1st. Yes. I believe, well, actually, no, it's only this week. Okay, number two is the senior bus contract. This is a one-year extension. We have a contract with West Point Tours doing all of our, for our senior trips. And I know I spoke to council this afternoon. I believe there is a one-year extension that we're allowed to do, correct?
Yeah, the board will be authorizing you to execute a letter to extend the contract.
Okay, great. I'll make a motion to extend the contract with West Point Tours for 1 year.
Second.
Let me just rephrase it. That should be 1 year from, I believe it's
February 1st.
February 1st, I'm sorry. So February 1st will take effect for the 1 year going forward. Make that form of motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Jim. Okay, number three is requested director of golf, PGA Merchandise Show. This is, we all have a letter in front of us from Mr. Fusco, our PGA Tour, our pro, and I'll just read this. I've done many times in the past. I'm requesting approval for myself and my assistant golf director, Ron, to attend the PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando, Florida from January 19th through January 22nd. The expense for this is covered in the 2015 golf course budget and will not exceed $900. $900.
So moved.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And again, this is a show that I know I talked to Dave about, where they go down and learn all the new stuff about golf and what makes our golf course so special.
The other thing is there definitely some savings. A lot of the stuff that I do buy for the golf course.
Yes.
For Joe, I do purchase stuff for the superintendent. If you go to the show and make a purchase at the show, you save 10%.
Nice.
Some of the stuff that I'll save will actually pay for the car. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Great, thank you, Dave. Number 4, tax receivers credit card. We brought this up last month. I spoke with Kathy, we spoke to special counsel, we spoke to finance director about this, and we've looked at what other towns are doing and the county, and I'm not sure if it was the county, I know we looked at a lot. We are charging 2.5% right now, anyone who wants to use credit cards to pay their taxes, whether it be school, town, or county, and it was not covering the full cost of our fees. We suggested it to go up to 3%. That should almost cover our fees. We don't want to go too high, but just so everyone knows, we had, I believe, 80 people. I know we were asking this last week and I didn't have the answers. 80 people paid with credit cards, which is about 1.5%. So yeah, that's what it is. People are putting it on to use miles. But again, so I'm going to make a formal motion to increase the credit card fees to 3% from 2.5%. In the tax receiver's office.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5 is a permit resolution. I know I handed out some different paperwork here tonight, but we've been working with our with our workers' comp. I'm jumping the gun. This is not the one I handed out. And the cost in 14 was $319,000 or $320,000, and it has gone up to about $369,000. It's about a 15% increase. Unfortunately, it's out of our control, and as you can see, it was shopped. On the next page, you'll see one of the companies that came back was at a total of $462,000 for the policy. So it's still almost $100,000 less than the other company, and it is a company that we currently use, correct, Karen?
Yes.
Yes. So, I'll make
13% increase?
15% increase, 15%.
Workers'
Workers' comp.
Workers' comp.
Yeah, this is not our regular insurance, we have that's coming.
Yes, and we shopped it out. We will receive a 2% discount. Pay the bill by January 15th. It's actually not on the total because there's an assessment fee on each piece of it. And that would be a savings of about $175. But it is a big.
So that's if we pay it by January 15th, and our next meeting is the 13th, so that's why we plan to put it on here. Okay, I'll make an informal motion with permanent, the workers' comp coverage with permanent.
Second motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a discussion. Excuse me. We talked about the insurance going up across the board during the budget sessions, and I know you're adding an agenda item for the general insurance.
Yes.
But specifically in the quote here, it talks about our experience rating and how we're above our peers, and it's unfavorable, that's causing a higher rate. I remember years ago, we had a discussion, we had educational process, and this kind of goes for the other agenda item later on, is that as far as workman's comp, that's a little different because of the injuries that are incurred, but it was substantial. When we got the list, I remember requesting the list, we saw all kind of crazy things on it. And it says right here that, we exceed all our peer numbers, so thereby that's what's causing the increased cost over that amount. But there was educational process. I think we should mandate our people to go through. I don't know if we're doing that anymore. I don't think we should just accept big increases from that. And when we talk about the other policy, I would ask for more of a workshop on that because of coming in related to what our coverages are. Workman's comp is pretty straightforward from the standpoint of you have the injuries, you get charged, etc. But the nature of those charges were, just, I mean, there's people get hurt on the job, but some of them, which is crazy things. I remember going through that list. And those are, people out for a long time for workman's comp. So the educational process is very important, that people are not just lazy and be careful what they're doing. And that's what basically the explanation in this document goes, and it talks about an educational process. So although we'll vote on this now, and we pretty well have no choice, I think we should require everybody to go through that educational process.
We do. We have a safety committee that we have together. My assistant Bernadette is head of the safety committee, and we have all sorts of I'll call them CDs, DVDs, whatever you call them, where each department goes through and goes through and watches these things. We have our insurance company, our permit company come in at least once a year, sometimes twice a year to give classes, and that is all signed in on by all employees. Every department head comes in with their employees. They have to sign off on when they watch the video. So we are doing that, but unfortunately, we can't control when people get hurt. Yes, we'd like to, but unfortunately, accidents happen, things happen, and I can assure you, there's no lazy workers in the town. They're all out there doing the work. They're all out there working hard. So I don't appreciate the comment that you call them lazy.
Lazy injuries, I said.
Okay.
That's what I said. Well, then I'm requesting a list of the claims that have been filed that be reviewed with the board, whether it's during executive session or later from a contractual relationship. You see the loss history and the same thing about the other ones.
Okay, we can definitely do that paperwork. But anytime we have to get this done. So there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 6 is Highway Department, emergency PO for a highway truck. This was something that happened during our, was it storm, Larry, or just? Emergency PO for front-end work on a highway truck. Work was performed by Newburgh Branch Transactional for a total of $4,763.03.
Can we just agree to that in the package?
That's an emergency PO, correct? No, we don't have to do it, it's in the PO. Never mind. Done. It's in the PO, I didn't know that, I'm sorry.
There's like 3 emergency ones in here.
Yeah, it is.
That was one of them, I remember seeing it.
Okay, number 7, maintenance renewal for the town clock. This is our clock that was put up, 2 years ago? Almost 2 years ago, I'd say, a year and a half anyway, at our Lavoy Park. This is the renewal up for the maintenance renewal invoice for a total of $580. However, if we were to pay it by December 31st, $550, so we saved $30. And again, this is something that's a $27,000 clock, so it's very important that they come in, they do the oil and the grease and whatever they have to do, make sure everything's working fine every year. So I'll certainly believe it's something that we need, and I'll make a motion to award it to Verdi Clocks. There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion?
One visit, 500.
I believe it's 1 or 2 times. I'm not 100%
It says
certain.
one visit. I
Yeah.
got on the wrong business. $550 for one visit for a clock.
Unfortunately, that's what it costs, but again, it is very important. It's a $27,000 clock. We want to make sure that we keep it going for the next 100 years. Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Was there a second? There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 8 is a request that I received from North Rockland Sports Hall of Fame. It's just a sponsorship, asking if we'd be interested in I guess a plaque for approximately a $300 donation. I figured I'd give it to the board. I get a lot of these, but not, for asking for donations. I felt this one was something that the board was wanted to hear.
Did we do it last year?
I don't believe we did. Did we? We normally don't. It's a great organization. I'll make a motion to approve $300 for a plaque for the North Rockland Sports Hall of Fame.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next. Number 8 is discuss recreation supervisor. Over the past summer anyway, we've been dealing with many of our department heads and on a one-on-one basis, really trying to get things in order, and everything seems to be working great. Over the summer, we were working with one of our parks department, made him a department head, and we're looking to do that with one of our our current recreation department, and I'll make it in the form of a motion to, bear with me. I'll make it in form of a motion to increase the salary of our recreation department.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And again, this is something that we've been working on with all of our department heads, trying to get everyone up to the level where we feel is where they should be. Number 10, renew dental insurance. This is another insurance, this one has gone up about on an average of, I believe, 7%? 7% for a total of, what's the yearly increase?
5% for the town employees and 1% for the police.
Oh, okay, because there's two separate things, correct. There's for the police department, a 9% increase because there's two different insurance, whatever they're called, policies. Thank you. And it was 5% for the civil service. Again, this is something that was quoted, was shopped, I should say, and it's coming in on an average of 7%. I'm sorry, 7% increase, correct. You know what, usually, I know during budget time, we usually put 10% across the board for insurance increases, so it is a little less than what we expected. We don't want any increase, of course, we love decreases, but unfortunately, that's the business. So,
I remember Jen, last time I don't remember the time period, it was a year ago or so, this actually went down, I remember.
we changed companies, yeah. We changed companies, and actually, while we were shopping this, we came up with another policy where we could have saved a few bucks, but there was a few changes in there, and you would have to get the PBA to okay it and the CSEA, and there was a change. Anytime we change a policy with insurance, we have to, it has to be this equal or better than the policy prior, and so drop the insurance. I mean, to save a few bucks this year, we're going to try and do this. However, I believe it went from a 5-year crown to a 10-year crown, which I knew wasn't going to get signed off on, so we went back to this company.
And
So
we have a pocket network change also.
that would have changed in the other one. Yes.
So this covers all town staff, including the police department?
Yes. Is that the one? Is that the one?
You said it was the one.
Hold on, hold on.
What
I
you
handed
were
it
given originally was not the separate one, that was the one.
Is this the one I handed out separately? I handed, you have another copy of it there. Here. Unless that's the one.
To the package.
No, this is the one. No, that's not the one. No, Jen, I'm sorry, that's not the one that we had the extra things. That's not the one.
The one with the 5%.
Yes, yeah, it's for a total between both of 7%. What's that?
We have no idea what you're voting on.
You have no idea what?
What you're voting on.
I gave you the
Are you
paperwork.
on additional paperwork handed out, or are you doing on the 10?
Number 10.
Okay.
Okay, has there been a motion and a second?
No.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to accept the insurance as for MetLife, which is the company that we changed to last year for a savings of, I don't know the exact number, but there was a savings, that's why we changed to this company. This is when we went back and forth with the PBA and the CSEA to agree to this new policy. It's the same policy, and I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No, I would be asking the same question is that there's two, it covers all the employees of the town, including both unions.
That's correct.
And the police one is separate,
The police is a separate one.
and then the town is union and non-union workers.
That's correct. For dental only, this is dental only.
Right. And what is the, obviously, the union contract is different than the town one. Is that, are all employees enrolled in the policies?
Yes, anyone who is enrolled, I'm sure there's some people that don't need the dental insurance. Maybe they have it through their husband or wife that works somewhere else. I don't have that answer for you, but this is every town employee that is enrolled in our.
Oh, yeah, but that's what I'm trying to get an understanding of. I remember going through the police situation, relating to that, and I know how much they contribute, that kind of stuff. But generally you have especially on a dental policy, depending on spouses, sometimes you're covered in another plan, and your alternative, you want to have double coverage, sometimes you offer different plans, etc.
Right, every CSEA member and town member has to be offered the dental plan.
But are they all on it? Are they all on it? So they can elect a family, and is there any contribution?
Whether it's retirees.
Is there 5% for the dental too, on the non?
10%.
No.
10%.
Is it 100% paid by the town?
10% for.
No. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
I'd like you to tell me the answer. I mean, just from the police department, if I recall it, you're totally covered, there's no contribution.
Correct.
The town, the CSEA versus the town employees, I think they contribute either 5 or 10%. 10%.
Anyone who is employed by the town that is not CSEA, is full-time and collecting insurance, pays 10%, I believe it's 5%. 5%. For instance, myself, I'm an elected official, I'm a full-time employee, I pay 5%, I'm not a member of the CSEA. Now, again, I know that's with the regular insurance, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm 99% sure. That being said, anyone who is hired after, I don't know the year, the last contract that we signed with the CSEA, probably about 2 years ago, I think it came into effect, where anyone who's hired has to pay 10% of their insurance forever. Anyone hired prior to that date had to pay 10% of their insurance for 10 years. After 10 years, they were fully covered. I believe I'm stating that right. I hope that, I'm hoping that's helping, I'm helping a little. I believe it's 5%, no, not the CSEA, it's 10%. Okay?
So now you can
Yes, non-union people, yes. Got it? Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 11, request of Stony Point seals. This is every year. We have our great event on Super Bowl Sunday, which is February 1st this year. And they are just simply looking, I believe, for their request, transportation of vehicles, anyway, parking at a Clark Park, at the whole course. But anyway.
They need to,
Mask on.
yeah, to,
Wave the mask on.
waive the mask gathering,
Yes.
the public, and to grant the mask gathering.
Okay, I'll make that form of motion.
I'll second the motion.
And again, this is a group that's been doing this for, I don't want to give the wrong amount of years, but at least 15, I would say. Started off with a few people that just jumped in the river freezing and turned into a great fundraiser, and they've raised thousands upon thousands of dollars for sick children or sick adults for that matter. So great cause. There's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And the last thing is an add-on. I apologize. Yep, okay, so there'll be 2 things. The last thing I have is our insurance. This is our insurance company that normally we do at the very end of December, but this is our only meeting in December. We've had our Ducey agency go out and do a lot of selling our insurance and went out to at least 10, I would say at least 10 that we received back, and our insurance is, it's tough to get it after, especially after Sandy. But our annual premium for 2015 in our new contract is $414,393, which is down from $425,924 last year, which represents a 2.7 decrease in our premium this year. And how we come about that, we would have been paying more, but we sat down over the last 3 months or so with our finance director, with our department heads, and went over all the buildings up here. All the equipment that we have that was on or not on our insurance policy. What's that? Well, yeah, all the vehicles. I mean, we've had a few things on there that were over, some of these buildings up here, when we first took it over, they were high numbers when the market was great. We've done all our research. We sat with Frank from the Ducey agency and did a lot of work on this and worked very hard. All of our department heads, all of our employees who helped us figure out what and where and how to get this done. And without that work and the help of each of the employees, that we wouldn't be sitting here with, looking at a decrease, we'd be looking at an increase again. So I want to personally thank them, I want to thank the Ducey Agency for helping, and most importantly, going out and doing the research and trying to sell this and getting us a cheaper rate. This is the cheapest we're going to get, and I'll make an informed motion to accept the Ducey Agency as our carrier for our insurance.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second, any discussion?
Yes, as I said earlier about, I think, either a workshop meeting or should come in here and show us full coverage, all our coverages, what our options would have been, deductibles, et cetera, show us the trend, show us our losses. So we can do.
I gave that tomorrow morning.
Well, I know, we go through this every year. We get this, and we always get this last second, and we went through the history years ago, but it went up over $100,000 from 2013 to 2014, and it went down slightly this year. So, but it's their responsibility to present to us, you know, what our coverages are and discuss it. Whatever you've done, that's great. Well, it's a major expenditure. And we want to make sure that everything is being taken care of and looked at from that standpoint. And not just, you know, gone out and I throw the other pass on the bids, but we do have a high loss history. And it's not just all the hurricane. So it's things we should be discussing and monitor as a board. So I requested they come formally present to us, and they did this a number of years ago. And it was fine for a while until last year, and it went up that substantial amount. But then it's still up. So I would make that request.
Okay, just for your information, it did not go up last year, it went up in 2013 is when it went up after the Sandy storm. And I, you know, all the information you're asking for is in the 22-page packet that is in your packet today. It's all there.
We don't have that.
Is it on in here?
We got this.
Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have this?
No, we got this.
I'm sorry.
Additional
Okay.
item at the
So
last
then,
second.
here, I'll give you this now, instead of tomorrow morning. But I will, any other paperwork that we have or need, I will certainly make sure that it gets to you. If this board wants to bring in Mr. Borelli and stand him here and ask him questions, I have no problem with that. I deal with them every day. Not every day, but when we're doing this, we're dealing with them. And you're more than welcome to. Don't take this the wrong way. Give him a call. Stop by his office. Stop by my office. I'll be happy to show you whatever you want, Mr. Wade. But I can assure you.
I have a concern of paying $400,000 of insurance.
I have a big concern about it. But
You
we
have
don't
an
work.
understanding of it? You guys have an understanding of this?
Well, I have an understanding of the fact that it went up dramatically because of all the storm damage, and now we're on a downslope. So if you're suggesting that we're dramatically overpaying here, then
I'm saying that over the last 8 years, the insurance has gone up dramatically over those years. There's been a lot of discussion. It's a major cost. It's a major cost. And you have to come in, and every year we have an issue with loss history, and that's always the reason why we can't get other quotes. So I think we just got to put the feet to the fire and prove it.
you said other quotes were received. Did they receive other?
It's all in the
Everybody
packet
else
10.
passed, based upon the package, everyone else passed quoting on us.
And pass, and let me just so everyone else, they know the quote, they can't beat it. The 10 other companies went out, knew the price we were paying, said, we're not interested, we can't beat it. So yes, we did shop it.
Well,
More than 10.
They didn't beat it because they said they quoted our loss history's too high.
They
They
didn't beat
didn't even bid.
it. Exactly.
So I understand, I've gone through this a lot. So I think that, you know, again, don't take this wrong, but I'm just trying to do my job.
I understand.
And it's a major expenditure.
I understand that. Anybody want to bring them in?
Okay, do we have to do this tonight? To satisfy?
Yes, we do.
other members
We have to
of the
pass this tonight. It's, well, the end of the month, it's contract, right? January.
Well, I don't,
December 31st, our contract runs out, our insurance.
But I think what Mr. White is asking is not on this particular vote issue, but in the future, just to have a workshop issue and bring up ways that we can reduce this fee. You know, just like I do with my own home. You know, I made sure all my kids took the safety course. I think he's just looking for ways to not confrontational, but to see what we can do to lower this cost.
I fully agree with you. I do it every day. I've been doing it for 365 days.
Excuse me. I don't think nobody thinks you're not.
I know you're not accusing me, I know that,
How I'm taking this is it's a good suggestion, and he's working hard, something we should all be doing. To look at, and I'm not saying you're not doing it.
I'm not taking
looking
it
at
that
this
way.
as a positive.
I'm not taking it that way, I'm really not.
So why don't we just have Mr. Borelli come in and just...
I have no problem. If we pass this.
Let's have it.
we have a motion and a second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. We can have more discussion if you want, but we could certainly bring in Mr. Borelli, we could bring in 20 other insurance companies to stand here. I have no problem with that. But I will assure you, it's been done. We've done it. Maybe not with this board, but I've done it. I can only bring back the information that I receive from all these other companies. I can't make people come to my office and sit with me. I can't make people come here, but I can certainly ask them to come here, and I have no problem bringing anyone here to talk about it. But we need to pass this tonight,
At least
so we have insurance come January 1st.
At least we need to have a copy of the full report, because we were not provided.
Right.
I'm coming.
So there's been a motion and a second. We're all good. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I'm opposed.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, and I believe there's one more, Mr. Councilman. You have something?
Oh, yes. A couple of weeks ago, this board passed a resolution establishing a committee, a citizens committee, to look into, help plan and execute the sesquicentennial of the town of Stony Point, which is our 150th anniversary, which is coming up in 2015. It actually goes March to March 2015 to 2016. And we had indicated when we passed the resolution that we would begin appointing people to this committee. Starting tonight, we have a couple of folks that have reached out to us that we're still waiting to get confirmations from, and we have a couple of other slots left open, so there is still time if people are interested. Whether or not you serve as a member of the committee, we are looking for as many people who would be interested to help the committee as possible, because we're looking to try and do a series of events to celebrate the town and our rich history and our heritage and our wonderful community here. So as a first sort of round of nominees to help put this year-long celebration of Stony Point together, I'd like to nominate, can we do it all in one shot?
Yeah.
Okay. Susan Fulgaris, President of the Stony Point Historical Society, Glenn Chorba, who's a resident whose father helped organize the centennial, who has graciously come forward and is interested in serving. Dylan Skirloff, the owner and the editor of the Rockland County Times, who is one of the people who has been a driving force behind this year-long celebration thus far. Kevin Metcalf, who's a North Rockland High School social studies teacher, and his parents were on the Centennial Committee. And Tom Schassler of the Palisades Interstate Park Historical Society. Joe Robinson has offered to serve as the liaison to the Wayne Host Fire Department. So I'd like to place in nomination those names to serve on the town's sesquicentennial committee. And as I indicated, we do have a couple of other slots that are open, and at our next meeting as a supervisor, I'd like to fill the committee and get them started on their work.
Great. That motion?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I believe, well, we're going to go to executive session. There will be no votes. But I just want to make sure the board's going to discuss it. I don't want anyone to think every other year we have a reorganization meeting, and unfortunately, we're not having, this is not our year to have one. There may be a few issues that we might have to clean up in early January, because our first meeting isn't until January 13th. So just, we will announce it if we are going to have it. I just wanted to make sure that if the board does decide to have a special meeting, it would be a reorg meeting, probably early January before the 13th. Just a few housekeeping issues.
What about the announcement, was the special meeting on the 8th?
Special meeting on the 8th is January 8th. Yeah,
It's actually today.
yeah, it is actually kind of.
But and where it's being held, one now school was being held. Can you say where it's
do it again.
Okay, I'll do it again. January 8th, 7 o'clock at the Farley School, on January 8th, 7 o'clock, Farley School, and that will be a planning board meeting / town board will be there, and more importantly, people of Stony Point, people of Havershire, West Havershire, Rockland County can come, ask questions, and the representatives from the company that is interested in coming to Stony Point will be there to give us a presentation.
And we can come into the board, so there's not
Absolutely. Oh, it's a meeting, yeah, we can go.
like that, so it's not going to be any of that
No,
garbage.
the sunshine law will not affect us in there.
Get the real facts.
Information. It's an information meeting. Okay, I'll make a motion to go into executive session. We will have legal counsel give advice. And there will be no votes taken.
Second motion.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.